Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect. And, as you see on the screen, this was a repost, right, that Trump, posted on his Truth Social account. There was a channel, all right, by the name of extremely stable genius, or should I say a username by a user by the name of extremely stable genius posted this on Truth Social, and Trump reposted it. Okay, and as it says that Trump reposted a martial law message, okay, because what the initial post says, right, which I'll read it if I don't know if you're able to actually see it, but the post says that it says sanctuary cities mayors are defying federal law. They are insurrectionists, just like Southern governors during the Civil War. President Trump should declare martial law in those cities, arrest the mayors, appoint military governors, and restore the rule of law, just like I did, right? And they have the picture of Abraham Lincoln. So, apparently that's what Abraham Lincoln did during the Civil War. And Trump reposted this, which, is catching the attention of a lot of people. And, Trump has said it himself, right, that he is the president of the rule of law, something to that effect. And, by way of what he's doing, using the whole migrant situation as, the ploy, we're seeing that they're moving in a way that is similarly, okay, similarly to martial law. Now, of course, it's not, to that extreme yet, but they're going in that direction, right? Trump talked about enacting the Insurrection Act, okay? He talked about using the federal government to take over cities, right? He mentioned Washington, D.C., right? He also mentioned New York City. If, that a socialist individual, I think Zoran, ends up winning the seat for mayor, which the way that they're talking is as if he's already got it. So that could be something that's, purposely set up. He could just be a puppet, right? Being used to push these different ideas that are, aligned with socialism or communism. So Trump can be looked at as justified to, use the federal government to take over cities. Now, you also have a lot of what are known as sanctuary cities, right? I believe in Chicago, I seen a couple weeks ago, you had the Chicago mayor said that, and it was a Jake, okay? And you can't trust these Jakes that are in politicians. Not saying every single one of them are in bed, but wouldn't be surprised, right? Wouldn't be surprised if they all are in league with Esau, because you got to be to end up doing being in politics, right? But that Jake, he had made mention that he won't be working with ICE, right? And ICE isn't welcomed here. And you saw that last month with the whole thing in Los Angeles, where you had military vehicles, military troops, just marching down the streets, okay, and with horses, right, Humvees, and it was a show of force. Now, they didn't arrest anybody, right, but it was a lot of them out there, so it seemed like it was like a live drill that was being taken place. And as you notice, it's happening in cities that are predominantly inhabited by Israelites. all right, southern and northern kingdom. Okay, so now these sanctuary cities are mostly urbanized areas, right? Urban cities where Jake presides at. See? So them enacting martial law, he can do it on a sense of, in the name of, well, we have to take over these cities to get the migrants out because the states or the mayors are not working with us, and this is a national emergency, right? And because it's a national emergency, they can take power away from the cities and then put it into their own hands. And by way of doing so, they will be able to now declare martial law and have the federal government take control of these cities, just like how this post is saying. And it's not a coincidence, and it's not, by mistake that, Trump's account reposted this. Now, whether it was Trump himself or, his PR team, at the end of the day, he's aware, right, of it. And this is, prophecy. All right, this is prophecy that this devil was going to come down with great wrath, and particularly upon, all right, Israel. All right, we have constantly warned about Jacob's trouble. You see? And people think that this is so far-fetched. They think that, it won't get this extreme. But look how extreme it has already gotten, right? Look how far it has already gone, right? And matter of fact, you had last week, right? This came out on the 25th, so 5 days ago, rather. And brothers have done videos on it. We made mention of it at camp. It says Trump administration offers $608 million, right? So over $500 million for states. So each state, I believe, to build migrants camps modeled after Alligator Alcatraz, right? So 5 states are reportedly already in talks with the DHS about replicating Florida's 8-day construction model. So they want these things to be built quickly. All right, this isn't something that they're trying to take, months and years to build. The Alligator Alcatraz was built in, 8 days. And the question would be, why do they need so many of these in all these countries? Because they offered it to every state. So if every state says yes, then these types of detention camps, because that's what they are, will be in every state. And let's not forget, during the lockdown, you had places that were, I remember, I think it was Tennessee in particular, that I can remember offhand, but there was other states that were building Q centers, right? Quarantine centers. And there was a lot of articles that were speaking about these places being popped up all around America, but they were never used. So it's already things that are buildings that are already, made for these type of events. You see? So him reposting this isn't, like I said, it's not just a coincidence or it's not just something random. This is eventually, what's coming. And this is what, the man of the Lord, right, through the Holy Spirit, have been warning about. So what I did was ask ChatGPT, did Trump repost a martial law message? It says yes. According to recent reports, Donald Trump reposted a message on his Truth Social account that explicitly, right, not implicitly, not kind of, it explicitly called for declaring martial law. The post, originally from a user named Extremely Stable Genius, compared sanctuary city mayors to Civil War era insurrectionists and urged Trump to, quote, declare martial law, arrest mayors, appoint military governors, and restore the rule of law as Lincoln did. Trump's reposts occurred on July 30th, 2025, which was today. All right, so, this, I just wanted to bring this out because, the Lord said that his word is faithful and true. And the visions that were given were for an appointed time, but they're now speaking. And it's very clear, all right, what is happening, right? It's very clear what direction everything is going in. And as we continue to say, if you are not taking this truth seriously, if you have not repented in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? If you're not seeking for the protection from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, then you're going to be given, up to these things, man. You're going to be left out there with no protection, no way of being delivered, okay? And even certain of us, may get rounded up and taken. But as the Lord told us, that we are to be faithful unto death. And let me get that scripture here in the book of 2nd Esdras, because it's not just, and you've seen videos, countless amount of videos of how dispassionate, right, or unempathetic these quote unquote ICE agents are. They got their face covered up. They're not showing any type of ID. All right. They're not, showing, that they are actually who they say they are. They're just coming out and just taking people. No questions asked. Some of the people that they've taken were actual citizens. But they're not getting, in trouble for that. Because the whole point of the matter is anybody that is a dissident, anybody that they deem as being a quote unquote enemy of the state, right? We've shown, that trailer of the Gray State movie that never came out. Yeah, that's the times that we're coming into. Okay, so your normalcy bias is about to be out the window. All right, y'all been talking about this, and these days are far off. All that's about to be out the window. This is about to be your reality. All right, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 68. 8, it says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you." All right, it's kindled over you. Hey, the sword is sharpened and furbished. Can you not see? If Esau is the sword of the Lord, can you not see how sharp Esau has been, since Trump has gotten to office against you Israelites? And not just Trump, but even the regular everyday Edomite. They have been showing their horns, showing their sharpness towards you Israelites more and more. All right. So it says, "And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols." Also something to take into account, how, the military is, partnering with these AI tech companies, right? Like Palantir, using artificial intelligence, to be able to track people, right? Be able to identify and target individuals. You had Tom Homan, he said that the ICE is using physical appearance to be able to determine, who they want to target. Physical appearance. See? So that is literally racial profiling. But they got the green light to do so. All right, you had a ICE officer, basically said also that there is no such thing as a sanctuary city to the federal government. They can and will go wherever they need to go. And now if the state don't cooperate with the federal government, then all Trump has to do is just declare martial law in those areas and cities, and then he has full legal right to go in those cities and do what they need to do. For prime example, what happened in Los Angeles, right? That was just a filler, right? That was he was filling out the situation, and Karen, whatever her last name is, right? The mayor of Los Angeles, she had no power to stop it. And that's what Esau is showing you, that you Israelites, you think that you got a Jake face in these political seats, they're showing you that you don't run shit, man. Okay? These people that you deem your your mayors or your senators, they're not running anything. Because Trump ultimately is getting his orders from the people that really run Babylon the Great, which is Amalek. Okay? So it says, and why would Amalek come against come at you, Jakes? First and foremost, that was the one who always came at you. When we came out of Egypt, who was it? Right? That's why the Lord said, remember Amalek. So yeah, he hides himself as being, oh yeah, he's down with the struggle. Oh yeah, blacks and JOOs, we both were marginalized. Nah, you were always just being used by this devil, right? But now that the truth has been gone out, and now that there's an inquisition being made against him, now he's showing you how much he really despises you. And it's so, and it's beautiful, man, because you Israelites, you niggas need a wake-up call. All right, you need a wake-up call. And it's going to be a rude awakening, because the Lord got that sword sharpened for you. So it says, for behold, a great burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. Okay, trodden underfoot. You trying to consent, you trying to assimilate, you trying to be down, right? And a lot of Jake consented unto this devil, because you had, what, it said 77 million Americans voted for Trump. You had a record amount of Northern Kingdom, so-called Latinos, voted for Trump. You had a record amount of so-called blacks voted for Trump. So you consented, but you about to be in derision and trodden underfoot, man. You and your family members. And like I said, you're already seeing it taking place. It's already happening. Verse 70, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. See, madmen sparing none, and they coming with all of their tech upgrades, right? The robot dogs, the infrared, vision, right? The robots, okay? Your Optimus bot that Elon Musk is talking about. See? Verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So when this devil comes in, he going come in hard, man. All right? He's going to come into those houses and not have any pity. And that's all through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, because the Lord is the one that's putting the spirit on this devil to do these things. But who is it going to come against, and who is going to be the ones that that get overtaken by it? The overflowing scourge is going to take. It's going to take the ones that didn't take heed, the ones that was idle, the ones that consented and wanted to be down with this system. But at the same time, the Lord is going to set up that standard for his elect, and that is why it says, then shall his chosen be known. So like it, then shall they be known who are my chosen. Because the Lord is going to deliver us in those times, man. Because we're going to trust and call upon the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and he is going to be our defense. He's going to be our refuge. All right, but just want to touch on that, man, because the writing on the wall can't get any clearer. It cannot be any clearer what time it is, what's happening, and how bad it's about to get, to the point where you got the president of the United States reposting a post calling for martial law. So you can't say, yeah, we're conspiracy theorists, because he's the one, he's showing it, right? He's the one that's now agreeing with this type of rhetoric and type of mindset. You see, so yeah, with that, call Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Shalom.